teenagers are facing charges in connection with the murder of a Miramar High School student. The suspects face a judge and are charged with killing 18-year-old Dwight DJ Grant.
3 Broward teens accused of brutally murdering a classmate back in court today.
Today, we bring you a tale that has left an entire town reeling. The heartbreaking story of Dwight DJ Grant, a 19-year-old senior at Miramar High School, whose promising life was cut short in a crime that defies comprehension. On October 17, 2021, DJ vanished without a trace, leaving his family and friends in a state of desperate worry. 2 days later, their worst fears were realized when his body was discovered, bearing horrific injuries, hidden behind an apartment complex. But the most chilling aspect of this case wasn't just the act itself, it was the identity of those responsible. DJ's killers weren't strangers lurking in the shadows. They were his own classmates, driven by a toxic mix of jealousy and misguided passion.
Murder in the first degree, tampering with physical evidence, and conspiracy to commit murder in the first degree.
How could such a tragedy happen? What could drive 3 teenagers to commit such a horrifying act? Today, we'll take you through the investigation, the trial, and the impact this tragedy has had on the families involved. Let's go back to the fateful days of October 2021. The halls of Miramar High School, usually filled with students' chatter and the buzz of teenage life, suddenly fell silent as news of DJ's disappearance spread. His absence was immediately felt. An empty seat in class, a missing voice in conversations, a hole in the hearts of those who knew him. DJ's parents, trembling with a mix of hope and fear, made public pleas for any information about their son's whereabouts. Local news stations captured these raw moments, broadcasting the anguish of a family torn apart by uncertainty. As hours turned into days, the community rallied. His parents printed out flyers, and everyone hoped for DJ's safe return, clinging to the belief that he would walk through his front door at any moment, ready to embrace his worried parents.
I feel bad for the kid's mom, and it's a sad situation for everybody.
But fate had other plans. After days of searching, the worst-case scenario became a horrifying reality. DJ's body was found in a secluded area behind an apartment complex not far from where he was last seen. The discovery sent shockwaves through Miramar, leaving residents grappling with the unthinkable, a young life extinguished far too soon. The question on everyone's lips was simple yet profound. Why? What could drive someone to commit such a heinous act against a fellow student, a neighbor, a friend? As detectives pieced together the puzzle of DJ's final hours, a disturbing narrative began to emerge. This wasn't a random act of violence or a robbery gone wrong. The truth was far more unsettling. Surveillance footage, a silent witness to the tragedy, captured DJ's last moments. The video showed him walking with familiar faces, people he knew, people he trusted. What DJ couldn't have known was that this encounter was a carefully orchestrated trap, set by those who should have been his allies. In a twist that left the community reeling, authorities revealed that the prime suspects in DJ's murder were 3 of his own classmates: Andre Clemens, Jocelyn Downs, and Christy Parisienne. The shock of this revelation was palpable. These weren't hardened criminals or unknown assailants. They were teenagers, students who sat in the same classrooms, walked the same halls, and shared the same dreams as DJ. Court appearances, as captured by local news outlets, showcased the gravity of the situation. These teenagers, barely out of childhood, were now facing the consequences of a violent act that shattered lives.
We're learning some new details about the murder of a Miramar High School student. 3 teenagers are facing charges in that case.
The community struggled to reconcile the image of these young suspects with the severity of the crime they were accused of committing. How could students with their whole lives ahead of them become entangled in such a horrific act? As investigators dug deeper, a motive began to surface, one as old as time itself: jealousy. It was alleged that Andre Clemens was the mastermind behind the plot. His motive? A toxic mix of possessiveness and rage sparked by DJ's reported romantic involvement with Andre's ex-girlfriend. This wasn't a crime of passion in the heat of the moment. Evidence suggested a cold, calculated plan. Andre, Jocelyn, and Christy allegedly lured DJ out under false pretenses. What should have been a normal teenage interaction turned into a deadly ambush. The details of that fateful night, as reconstructed by law enforcement, paint a chilling picture. On October 17th, the three suspects put their plan into motion. They lured DJ to a specific location, taking advantage of his trust and familiarity with them. Surveillance footage captured the group approaching a stairwell, a seemingly innocuous scene that would soon turn tragic. What happened next was a brutal attack that would shock even the most seasoned investigators. According to police reports, Andre confronted DJ with a chilling statement.
According to detectives, Andre said to DJ, "You know who I am and why I'm here? You know I have to kill you now."
In the moments that followed, police alleged that Jocelyn held DJ down, while Andre wielded a knife and sword, inflicting fatal wounds to DJ's neck and chest. The level of violence was staggering, made even more horrifying by the fact that it was perpetrated by people DJ knew and trusted.
She stood right in my face and she said she didn't know what happened to my son. She stood right in my face. I don't know if he was still alive, but I could help him.
The betrayal was unfathomable. Jocelyn, one of the suspects, had initially acted as though she was clueless about DJ's disappearance. But text messages later revealed the chilling truth. Jocelyn, despite her initial claims of innocence, actively participated in the planning, even mocking the seriousness of taking a life. In the days following the discovery of DJ's body, the community of Miramar was plunged into mourning. Vigils were held, makeshift memorials appeared, and grief counselors were brought into Miramar High School to help students and staff cope with the loss. Meanwhile, the legal process began to unfold. In the digital age, even the most heinous crimes leave digital footprints. Investigators uncovered text messages that shed light on the mindset of the accused. Perhaps most chilling was a message attributed to Jocelyn.
In this case, on October 3rd, she says, "I love your opinion and all, but it's spooky season and my toes will be red. To represent the blood I'd be stepping on after I viciously stabbed someone to death."
This message, with its casual reference to violence, highlighted a disturbing disconnect. It raised questions about how young people perceive the gravity of their actions in an age of constant digital communication. Was this just macabre humor or a genuine indication of intent? As the case moved through the legal system, each court appearance brought fresh anguish to DJ's family and renewed attention to the case. The decision to try the suspects as adults meant they faced the full weight of the justice system.
The three suspects in the homicide of Dwight Grant will be charged as adults. A team of senior prosecutors reviewed all of the available evidence and circumstances before this decision was made today. Formal charges will be filed in the coming weeks.
The legal process that followed would be lengthy and painful for DJ's family. They attended court hearings, watched their son's killers show little remorse, and grappled with the immense loss that could never be undone. The courtroom became a stage where the stark realities of the crime were laid bare. Prosecutors presented evidence, including the surveillance footage and text messages, painting a picture of premeditation and callousness that was hard to reconcile with the young ages of the accused. The three suspects were brought before Judge Elijah Williams, who read out the charges against them.
Murder in the first degree, tampering with physical evidence, and conspiracy to commit murder in the first degree.
Andre was believed to be the ringleader, driven by rage after DJ reportedly became romantically involved with his ex-girlfriend. The evidence against them was overwhelming, and soon the community would learn just how brutal DJ's final moments were. The weight of the charges against them, including first-degree murder, tampering with physical evidence, and conspiracy to commit murder, hung heavy in the courtroom.
The three suspects in the homicide of Dwight Grant will be charged as adults. A team of senior prosecutors reviewed all of the available evidence and circumstances before this decision was made today.
The ripple effects of this tragedy extended far beyond the immediate parties involved. DJ's family was left to grapple with an unimaginable loss. His mother, in particular, bore the weight of grief that no parent should ever have to endure. In heart-wrenching statements to the media, DJ's mother revealed the depth of her pain.
She stood right in my face and she said she didn't know what happened to my son. She stood right in my face. I don't know if he was still alive, but I could help him.
This betrayal, having one of the suspects lie directly to her face while she desperately searched for her son, added another layer of anguish to an already devastating situation. The impact wasn't limited to DJ's family. The families of the accused also found their lives irrevocably changed. Parents who had sent their children off to school, never imagining they could be capable of such acts, now face the harsh reality of their children's alleged actions. Community members like Anita Beasley expressed the collective heartbreak.
I feel bad for the kid's mom, and it's a sad situation for everybody.
In the midst of this horrific tragedy, it's crucial that we take a moment to remember Dwight DJ Grant, not just as a victim, but as the vibrant young man he was. DJ was more than just a name in a headline or a face on a missing persons poster. He was a son, a friend, and a beacon of positivity in his community. Those who knew DJ spoke of his kindness and the impact he had on others. One friend, fighting back tears, shared a poignant memory.
He always told me, since I had confidence issues, to just be myself.
This simple yet profound advice reveals the type of person DJ was, someone who lifted others up and encouraged his peers to embrace their authentic selves. In a world where teenagers often struggle with self-esteem and peer pressure, DJ stood out as a source of support and encouragement. Another acquaintance, reflecting on DJ's character, stated simply,
"He was an amazing person."
These words, though brief, speak volumes about the impact DJ had on those around him. He wasn't just well-liked, he was admired and respected for his positive attitude and the way he treated others. The loss of DJ sent shockwaves through the community, affecting not just those who knew him personally, but everyone who could empathize with the tragedy of a young life cut short. Tanisha Franklin, a community member, expressed the widespread impact.
When I heard it, I thought about my child.
Franklin went on to articulate the universal nature of the grief felt by the community.
Everything comes from a mother, and I do care. Even if you're not a parent, I mean, you will feel the emotion of a young child. Life is just taken.
This sentiment echoes the collective heartbreak felt by parents and non-parents alike, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the profound impact of such a loss on an entire community. The magnitude of this tragedy was not lost on legal professionals involved in the case. Matt Hinson, a family law attorney, reflected on the far-reaching effects of DJ's death.
From a feeling standpoint, I can't imagine what they're going through, both the family and the community. I'm sure that everyone is shocked.
Hinson also emphasized the importance of remembering DJ as a person, not just as a victim.
But I think that it's important not to forget the person that was lost and who they were as a person, not just how they died.
These words serve as a poignant reminder of the need to celebrate DJ's life, even as we grapple with the circumstances of his death. DJ was a senior at Miramar High School, with his whole life ahead of him. He had dreams and aspirations like any young person on the cusp of adulthood. Whether he planned to attend college, enter the workforce, or pursue other passions, DJ's potential was limitless. His presence in the hallways of Miramar High School was more than just physical. DJ was the kind of student who contributed to the school's atmosphere, making it a better place through his interactions and his example. Teachers and staff likely saw in him the promise of a bright future. The tragedy of DJ's loss is magnified by the positive influence he had on his peers and his community. He was not just a teenager going about his daily life. He was actively making the world around him better, one interaction at a time. As we continue to grapple with the senseless nature of his death, let us also celebrate the life DJ lived. His mother, who had not returned to work since the incident, spoke of her ongoing anguish and fear. The possibility that her son's killers might one day be released weighed heavily on her mind. A reminder that the trauma of losing a child in such a violent manner never truly ends. The community of Miramar, too, continues to grapple with the aftermath of this tragedy. The innocence of youth has been shattered, replaced by a harsh reality that such violence can occur even in seemingly safe environments. Let his story serve as a driving force for change, inspiring us to foster environments where young people can thrive, communicate openly, and resolve conflicts peacefully. Thank you for joining us for this in-depth look at a case that has profoundly impacted a community and raised important questions about youth, violence, and the complexities of human emotions. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations of cases that shape our world. Join us in the comments section below to share your thoughts on conflict resolution and the importance of emotional support for young people. Till next time, guys, stay safe.